I'm not even going to say what I say every single time, because I literally say every time I do feel like the launch is rolling around a little bit quick. As you can tell by the title of this video, it's going to be an Alphalete haul, review, all that shenanigans. It's new Amplify, which is definitely like the people's favourite. Some new elements, they've kind of changed the fit on a few things, so I'm going to go over that. Some more of their exclusive tees and a new colourway in their duffel bag. I will put on the screen everything that's launching so you can see it, and the PDF will also be linked in the description. So if there's anything that I miss or anything I don't have, it will be on there. You can see all the menswear on the PDF as well. The whole drop, you can see it all. It's the 15th of October that it's happening, which is Saturday, 6 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. CST, same as normal. One thing I want to say really quickly is every launch, like, I'll always like launch days, I tend to stay in, so if anyone wants to see what any of the new stuff looks like with like old stuff, I'll stay in and I'll make sure that I can answer questions. However, I am not even going to be in England when this launch happens, so if you want to see any of this stuff with like old collections, to see if it'd go together, DM me on Instagram Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday during the day, because those are the only days I can do it, because then I'm not going to be in England and I'm not going to have access to all my stuff. So any questions where it's going to need me to physically have the stuff with me and my entire collection, please message me between today and Wednesday, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to do it and I'll feel really bad. I just wanted to let you know that. The reason why, going on a complete tangent, the reason why I'm not going to be in England is actually because I'm going to Texas and I'm so excited. I'm literally so excited. I wanted to mention it in this video because obviously I'm going with Alphalete, so it is kind of relevant. It's not a complete tangent. I wanted to mention it because I said it on Instagram, but obviously I know that not everyone that watches my videos has me on Instagram or even has an Instagram account, and I just want to say genuinely thank you so much. Whether you've used my code like when I first started working with them or more recently or whatever, you've watched a video, left a nice comment, whatever, thank you genuinely so much, because I would not be able to go and fly 10 hours to go to Texas to go and meet them and do whatever I'm going to be doing if it wasn't for the support. And I'm so grateful. I've wanted to go for ages. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful to have been asked, and I know a few of you have also been asking me about it, so there's a little update. I'm super excited, and yeah, thank you so much. Like, genuinely thank you so much. It means a lot. Having said that, support code Amy if you want to get anything from this drop and support me. It helps my relationship with the brand and also helps me out a lot personally. All the athletes have codes and they will give you 10% off whatever you order, so whether you use mine or someone else's, definitely recommend using one, because you get to support someone that you like watching, someone that you find helpful, someone that you find entertaining, and also get yourself a little cheeky 10% discount, so it's a win-win. Another thing I want to say before I get into this is, which I'm not gonna lie guys, kind of shooting myself in the foot here by saying this, but I just feel like it's probably worth saying. Black Friday is around the corner. Now, I know with Amplify some of the stuff does go out of stock, but they have been doing a lot better with stock recently. So if you're a little bit tight on money at the moment, Black Friday is gonna be, is Black Friday normally in November? It's not that long away. Now, I will always say, especially with Amplify, for something you know that you definitely want, you're probably better getting it on a launch day just in case it does sell out, because Amplify is most likely to sell out. However, anything else, honestly, between now and then that you kind of umming and ahhing about, I'd probably wait until Black Friday. It probably won't go out of stock and you'll be able to get a much heftier discount on Black Friday. So I just thought I'd mention that, because I'm all about saving the girlies some money. Before I get started, my sizing for reference: 25-inch waist, 40 around my bum, around the largest, most big part of it. I am 5'6". The inside seam of my leg is about 28 inches. I'm pretty much whole torso. I'm a long torso girl. My boobs is a 32 double D, but they are thick, so please bear that in mind when I am talking about supportiveness of the sports bra. Without further ado, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to go over the new bras first. There was so much confusion when I put this PDF on my story because the renders are not giving what this bra looks like. Now I'm looking at them, I can see the cutout slightly, but it's a really poor render. People were like, the picture on like the header of the PDF looks very different to like the digital version. So I did ask, and it is the same bra. So this bra is coming in a lot of colours, but the colours that I have this bra in is, I've got it in most colours actually. I've got the white bra, I've got the black one, I've got the true indigo colour. By the way, I'm going to do colour comparisons in this video. I'll do it when I go over like the shorts and leggings. I've got the bra in utility grey, I've got pixel pink, and then I've got rich brown. So I've got a lot of the colours. The colour palette this time round, I feel like it's quite a good mix. It kind of reminds me of, I feel like this launch is kind of a mix of like the chocolate launch with the last launch. So there's a good amount of neutrals and also some bright pops. I do like this colour palette, and I feel like there's definitely something for everyone. I really enjoyed the last launch's colour palette, but I feel like this one, there's definitely something for everyone in here. There's a lot more neutrals and some more dark colours. This is the Amplify Stratus bra. One thing to go over very quickly is the difference between this and the Amplify bra. I'm going to put in an overlay where I kind of talk about it, a side by side of me with it on, so you can see the differences between it on. So I'm going to pop that in here. Comparison of the original Amplify bras and then the new Stratus ones. As you can see, these are both an extra small and they're actually quite similar laid over each other, but as I'll explain in this video, the material feels very different and it affects the fit quite a lot. So differences are, the scrunch on this one is a lot shorter and it's just got a lot more detail. So it's got these lines coming up here. It's got this kind of embossed, like going round in circles print in like little panels, and then it's all over the back. Yeah, shorter scrunch cut out at the front, whereas this one has got the longer scrunch. It's also got the branding. This is ribbed, whereas this is more like waffle kind of feel. Then if I turn them over, obviously this one has a racer back at the top, and then it's got the cutout and the band around the bottom, and this is not stitched in, whereas the branding on the old one is stitched in, which is my preference, but it is what it is. Yeah, this is stuck on, racer back. This one has got more of like a open crisscross back. They cross over at the back, no branding on the back. That's the difference between the original and the new one. Okay, old Amplify bra versus this new Stratus bra. As you can see, it's just a different kind of design. This looks messy as hell, but these are all the bras in a size small. I feel like the sizing on the bras in terms of like the flat lay is pretty consistent, to be honest. There's not huge discrepancies, but I do find the rich brown runs slightly bigger. I don't know how it's going to impact the fit. I will update in the video, but flat lay, the rich brown does run slightly bigger, just a smidge. These are all a size small, by the way. This is then an extra small and a small in the new Stratus bra. This is the extra small, the white is the small. Normally with Alphalete bras, when I flat lay, I find that sometimes there actually isn't a difference at all. There definitely is with these bras. I'll obviously let you know in the video, but the advice even from Alphalete is to size up in these, and just looking at the size of this, it looks tiny. However, I did want to mention that like this is not the same bra, so whilst this is under Amplify, it's definitely not the same bra. I noticed straight away when I got them out, they don't feel the same, and the fabric blend is also not the same. So my most recent Amplify bra is 51% polyamide, 38% polyester and 11% elastane, and the Stratus bras are, see, this is what confuses me, because the PDF says, yeah, the PDF says it's that blend, but the label does not say that, and I'm going with the label because I feel like this is what the manufacturers put in there. So the label actually says 54% polyamide, 41% polyester and 5% elastane, which the elastane differences between this label and that label make me think this label is accurate and the PDF is not, because one of the big differences is like it's a lot less giving and a lot less stretchy. But this bra, details wise, let me go over it very speedily. So you've got a little scrunch on the front. I won't go over it too much because I have just compared it to the Amplify bra. The scrunch is nowhere near as long as the Amplify one. And then you've got this kind of print all over. Well, not all over, but in like little panels. It's kind of like a florally kind of print. It's quite hard to explain, but I'm sure you can see up close. It's got that kind of texture to it. Again, it's got seams all around the edge. Then it's got this band on the bottom, which feels kind of like waffled in texture. All the bras have like this kind of tonal detailing, by the way. Can you see like these lines? It's definitely more obvious on some colours than others. Like on the white and the black you can't really see it. I feel like it's most visible out of the colours that I've got on. The pink, but yeah, the band around the bottom, which is kind of like waffled, and then the back is a racer back. You've got, this is kind of attached but not attached, so you have a cutout at the side, and then you've got the band that comes around the back, Alphalete on the back, and this is not stitched in, it's a sticker, just a little FYI. So those are the details of the bra. I'm gonna pull up the notes that I wrote about it. Support for this bra, low to medium support. I definitely think the Amplify bra is more supportive than this one is. Alphalete are saying it's medium to high impact. I just don't think this bra is a high impact bra personally. I find the Amplify bra a lot more supportive than I do in this one. Sizing wise, it does actually say on the PDF, and I completely agree, it runs small and you should consider sizing up. Size up if you don't like the compressive fit, size up regardless. So I've got an extra small in the Pixel Pink and in the True Indigo, and the rest of them I have got in a size small. I'll show you the differences between the two. I way prefer a size small in this. I wore the Pixel Pink extra small to the gym the other day and it was very uncomfortable. You'll see in the try on clips, I'll do like a side by side sort of thing. It's like, I mean, the small still like creates kind of little bulges here and there, but it's a lot worse in the extra smalls. What you will find when you put this bra on is the elastane difference between this and the Amplify bra is actually quite big, and it's not necessarily in like the body of the material. This is actually still quite stretchy. I wouldn't say it's quite as stretchy as the Amplify, but it's still quite stretchy. But these seams, so the seam here around this band, the seams around here, like, can you see that compared to the Amplify one? So the Amplify bra, the seams are very stretchy, very giving, and these ones, they're a lot stiffer, so there's not much give. I struggle to get the extra small on because of the band. It's so tight around the bottom and it does feel a lot tighter on my traps. It's not Wonder Bra level of bad. It's still wearable, it's not uncomfortable, not around the traps anyway, but it is a bit tighter than the Amplify bras. So definitely size up. I have got a small in these for my like preferred size, but I'm not gonna lie, you can tell in the try on clips it still digs in. Like, I'm on a gaining phase at the moment, so my body, like, I gain quite a lot of weight around my upper body. It goes to like my arms and my back a little bit more, and I definitely find that I still get digging in the size small. So I would actually be intrigued to try a size medium. When you do size up, you will get less and less support because it's less restrictive, but I honestly don't find, in terms of like boob support, a difference between an extra small and a small. I think a medium would definitely be more low support rather than low to medium, but yeah, the extra small and the small, it's low to medium support for me, but 100% size up in this bra. Just to give you a visual side by side of what an extra small in this bra looks like on me versus a small, here it is. As you can see, it does definitely dig in less in a small, but it still digs in, definitely. These bras are not sweat proof. They do show sweat. I wore the Pixel Pink the other day. Like I said, they do show sweat. Obviously I've showed you like the difference design wise between the Amplify bras, but one thing that I do think is very important to mention is that these just feel very, very, very different. The Amplify bras have got kind of a more like woven kind of feel, and they feel a lot thicker. The material feels a lot thicker, and I'm not gonna lie, like straight up, they just feel higher quality than these new bras. The Amplify bras definitely feel a lot higher quality. Now, if you're wanting a bra to wear under a top, like a tight top that's not gonna be as bulky, this one would definitely be better because it is thinner, but I do definitely feel that the Amplify bras feel and are of a much higher kind of quality. But yeah, there is definitely a pretty stark difference between the thickness of the Amplify versus the new Stratus bras. The weight is very different as well. These feel a lot more lightweight, these feel a lot more dense, like they just feel heavier. The new ones have more of like a soft feel, whereas this is a bit more like, they're still soft but it's like thicker, woven. Yeah, these are definitely a lot more lightweight. And having said that, guys, they all come with padding in, which you can remove. Some of them I have removed the padding, some of them I haven't just yet, but I do definitely prefer to remove padding. If you want the white bra, these bras are double lined over the racer back section and over the boob section. However, it's just such a thinner material compared to the Amplify bras, and I did actually find with the white bra in a size small for me, it might not do it as much in a medium because the material wouldn't have to stretch as much. I actually found this a little bit sheer without padding in, and with padding in you could see the pads through it quite badly. So I wouldn't really recommend the white bra if you're wanting to wear it on its own and you don't want people to see either the padding or your nipples through it, because yeah, it's a lot thinner than the Amplify bras. I kind of just want like a standard Amplify bra in white. Yeah, so yeah, that is the bras done, spoken about. Would I recommend them? To be honest, no. I like the idea and I like the style. I think they look nice, but they don't feel as high quality as Amplify bras, and I can't help but feel like these are going to be more expensive because of like the cutout and like the detailing, because it has got extra detailing and I do like the detailing that is on it, but I just don't think these feel as high quality, and then they're just not as comfortable, they're not as easy to get on. You're having to size up quite significantly, which means you're sacrificing support, which just isn't something that I have to do with the Amplify bra. So yeah, this isn't really, I like the design, I like the idea, I think it looks cute, but do I think it's like their best bra? No. This will definitely be a personal preference thing. If you want something a bit thinner, you're happy to have something a bit thinner, you're not bothered about the feel of the quality, you'll probably love this. But like for me personally, I like the idea, I'm not a fan of how it's been executed, and yeah, that's basically my opinions on the bras. And if you are getting one, you need to size up. Okay, now I'm gonna go over what everyone and their man and their dog came to this video for, which is the Amplify. I swear I asked for a pair of black leggings, but I didn't get them. So I've only got the leggings in rich brown and utility grey. However, other than black, I do have something in every single colour. I went for a lot more shorts because I'm a more short person, so I'll go through the shorts with you all first, but kind of talk about them interchangeably because there's not too much differences. I'll go through differences between the leggings and the shorts because there is a little bit of a difference with fit, but you can kind of talk about the two interchangeably. So I went for more shorts. These are the 4.5 inch shorts. They haven't been doing the shorter ones, and they also haven't been doing any bloody bikers. If someone put a gun to my head, I don't know why I always say gun to my head, but like I just feel like let's be dramatic about things, and they said you can only keep your biker shorts or your short shorts, I'd keep my biker shorts. The biker shorts make the bunda in a way that the bunda has just not bunded before. 4.5 inch shorts are definitely more flattering in my opinion than the short shorts that they had before. I do prefer these to the previous ones, but still the bikers are my baby and we need more, and it's making me sad. I just feel like they're left out of every single launch, and like people are screaming and asking for the bikers, so we need to get some. So I'm gonna go over the colours that I've got. I've got the rich brown, and I will be putting in colour comparisons. This is a very warm brown. In my opinion, this is what chocolate should have been. I think chocolate and mocha, in my experience, are quite cool toned browns. Chocolate almost looks black in some lighting. This is very much giving chocolate, and this is the colour that it should have been, in my opinion, all along. Then we've got Utility Grey. This is more similar, if you have Thundercloud, it's more similar to Thundercloud. It's got that kind of bluey tone to it. And it's definitely my favourite grey that they've done in a while. Thundercloud is one of my favourite greys that Alphalete have ever done, other than Silver Sky, because that's an OG colour. And for everyone that says, oh, I like colours that are always going to be sheer, no, they're not. They're not, because my Silver Sky is fine. And so are my Violet bike shorts, so are my leggings as well. But yeah, this is like a bluey toned kind of grey. Then we've got Pixel Pink, which, I mean, Dan said the same thing and I do agree. This should have been called Coral. It's Coral. It's Coral. I struggle to find another colour that is similar to this from Alphalete. So if you're wanting a unique colour that they've not done anything like before, Pixel Pink is definitely a good option, because it's very, very, very different to anything else. It's very different. It's very corally. It's just... I like this pink. I didn't think I was going to be like a huge fan of it, but I think it's actually probably colour wise, and we'll get on to like sheerness and stuff, but colour wise I think this is probably my favourite colour in this drop. It looks really, really nice with like my hair colour and my skin tone, and I really, really like it. It makes a tan pop. Then we've got True Indigo, which is an indigo colour. If you are looking at it next to the other blues, which I will have put in the colour comparison, this has definitely got more hints of purple, I would say. It reminds me of a blue that they did in the Revival leggings, and I don't have them anymore, and I can't remember what colour it is. Sonic Blue. Was it Sonic Blue? I feel like that's what it reminds me of, but I don't have it anymore. Then we've got Digital Violet, which here, I'm showing it on camera, it might look like French blue. It's nothing like French blue in person. When you put this next to on its own, it looks blue, but then when you put it next to French blue, wash denim, it's definitely more purple. So Digital Violet is probably an accurate colour name, and I really like this colour as well. I'd say this colour and the Pixel Pink are probably my favourite colours from this drop. Then we have got Butterscotch, which I was thinking, why did they not call this gingerbread, because it's literally like the colour of a gingerbread man. But then I looked and they did an ozone colour called gingerbread, so that's probably why it's not called gingerbread. But it's a very warm tone. If you have a gingerbread biscuit, like that is literally what this looks like. It's a warm tone, orangey copper brown. So size wise in these, based off the last launch, I only got the Butterscotch in an extra small just for comparison purposes, and the rest of them I got in a size small, because last time I got things in my usual size of an extra small and a couple of smalls for comparison, and my extra smalls are unwearable because they're too bloody tight. But I'll get into that when I go over the sizing. Very, very quickly, I feel like I'm flogging a dead horse here, but I'm just going to go over the details because there might be people that don't know what Amplify is here. So details very quickly. You've got the 3-tier waistband, which basically moves from a lower compression to a higher compression, which means that it shapes you like that. There is no front seam. You have a little seam at the bottom here which can dig in depending on what size you get, but it will prevent it from rolling up. So I actually don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, and it's not an uncomfortable dig in. And then you've got the bum scrunch on the back. Anyone wondering about the bum scrunch, it is the new scrunch. It's the thicker scrunch. It's, yeah, you can see it's got the thicker scrunch. I'll put in a comparison. I'm going to show you a close-up of all of the scrunchies. So this is the last launch, just to show you it's the same as last launch. It's this new thicker scrunch. I'd actually say these scrunchies this launch look even a tiny little bit wider than last launch. It's just getting bigger and bigger. For reference, I'm not a huge fan of the bigger scrunch. The scrunch used to be like a feature of the legging with a purpose, and now I feel like it's kind of become like a design part of it, where like you can see it, whereas before you couldn't really tell. It just did what it needed to do, if that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see, it's not the thin scrunch. Same as last launch, if not a tiny little bit thicker. So you've got the Digital Violet one. These, other than the Butterscotch, are all in a size small. So you've got the thicker scrunch and then the little panel at the bottom. Pixel Pink has like a slightly longer scrunch and a longer panel. There's always differences between colours, but yeah, I just think it's important to go over those things. The true indigo colour looks the exact same as the digital violet one. Same with the utility grey colour. I'd say this one is most similar to the pixel pink scrunch. Then you've got butterscotch. Obviously this is an extra small, so it might just be because it's an extra small, but I feel like the scrunch is actually a bit shorter, but then this panel is like a lot longer. Like the panel there is that long and this one's that long. I feel like it's a lot longer, but I don't know if that's just because it's an extra small. And then you've got the rich brown with a big thick scrunch. And also, actually, to be fair, this one definitely has a longer panel as well. So there are some differences, but again, like I said, there's been inconsistencies recently, so it could actually just be the batch that I've got. I'm not saying like all the butterscotch ones will have a longer panel, or, you know, all the pixel pink ones will have a longer panel. That's just my experience with the ones that I've got. And then on the leggings, obviously the utility grey are extra small and the rich brown are a size small. The scrunch on these looks really long, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it looks a lot longer than the shorts. Yeah, the scrunchies on the leggings are a lot longer than the ones on the shorts. I don't know if that's because it's a legging and that's just how it has to be, but yeah, the scrunchies definitely look significantly longer on the leggings compared to the shorts. And they've got this, the panel on these between the extra and the small looks the same, but the scrunchies are definitely longer, and as a result of being a bit longer, they actually do look a little bit thinner, but they're definitely still not back to the original scrunch. Do these give you a camel toe? Yes, they do, in my experience. I've said this before, camel toe in Amplify for me is definitely worse when I wear seamless underwear, which is what I had on in this video. I don't know what it is, I just feel like because seamless underwear is so thin, because it's meant to be invisible, it's a lot easier for the underwear itself to hike on up there a little bit, and as a result, whatever you got over it will also be making its way on up there. Now, it's not uncomfortable, it's not like a like the Surface Path leggings give me like the worst camel toe and it's really uncomfortable. Lululemon Align pants, the worst camel toe and it's really uncomfortable. It's not an uncomfortable camel toe, and I know that quite a lot of people get Barbie crotch, which is like the V with these, because normally people are having size up now, so it's giving them a bit of excess material, which will make that appear worse. I personally just really don't care. When I wear G-strings, it kind of is a little bit less camel toe. I don't really care anymore in terms of like, but if people can say I've got a fanny, they know I've got a fanny. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Are these sweat proof? No, they are not. I trained in the pixel pink the other day, and I also trained in the digital violet, and they both showed sweat around the crotch region. It is worth noting I am a particularly sweaty person on my lower body, especially if I'm doing cardio or legs, which is what I was doing this week when I wore them. So something to bear in mind if you don't like people seeing sweat, they're not sweat proof. This material did used to be sweat proof, and we'll get onto the material, trust me. We'll get onto the material, because in the wise words of Aubrey Drake Graham, I am upset. But yes, these are not going to be sweat proof. Now, I'm going to go over squat proofness, and I'm going to talk about the two, because I always find, regardless of if I size up or not, I always find that leggings fare a lot worse than shorts. And I think that's just because they're a seamless legging, they're kind of like a tube, and they've got to stretch over a vaster part of your body than the shorts do. So by default, they just seem to always be a little bit more sheer. Like when I wear the leggings in certain colours, definitely from more recent launches, I can see my leg, like my thigh. When I sit down, I can kind of see my thigh through it, and I always find they're a little bit less squat proof. But the shorts normally fare a little bit better. But the colours that I have in the shorts and the leggings, I'll let you know if there was a big difference as I go through them. Now, something that I want to go over about squat proofness is the things that are going to impact it, and why, you know, things might look a certain way. Skin tone will be a huge impactor of how squat proof something looks, and this is why we need to see a wider variety of skin tones in athletes and affiliates to do these reviews, because me as a white woman, I can't really help people that have darker skin because I don't have darker skin. I can't help with that, and I feel like there just isn't enough options for people to look at. Like, people have to wait until people have spent their hard-earned cash after a launch to watch the review to see someone with their kind of skin tone, especially if they've got a super deep skin tone, and then by that point it might be bloody out of stock. So skin tone will impact it massively, because darker colours on me may look, and they do, spoiler alert, very sheer in a squat, because the contrast between this colour and my skin tone is vast. Like, it's a very different colour, so it's going to show through a lot more. Now, if you've got someone with a much deeper skin tone than I do, then they're not going to have that problem, because their skin tone is a lot closer to the darker colours. So it's the same with like the indigo colour. It will probably fare a little bit better on deeper skin tones because it's a dark colour and the contrast won't be as vast. Whereas, you know, there's colours like Pixel Pink, which I'll put in like a stand-up proof test to kind of explain what I mean, but when I wear black underwear, it's super visible. Pixel Pink is one of the, you know, sheerer ones in my experience. You know, even when I wear white underwear, you can kind of see it from the front slightly, but it doesn't look not squat proof on me because, one, I wear a thong. So I have no doubt, by the way, if you wore a big knicker under this, you would see the whole thing. Like, it would be incredibly sheer, but I wear a thong. And like, the contrast between this and my skin tone, obviously I'm not coral in skin tone, but it's not as vast. Whereas someone with super deep skin might put this on, and even stood up, they might be able to see the difference between the waistband and the leg. Because when I put like black or really dark underwear on under this, you can really see it. Are we getting where I'm going with that? I hope that makes sense, but it's just something that I want to explain before I go over squat proofness. And also it'll probably help clear up some confusion as to why certain things are super squat proof on some people and certain things aren't on others. And another thing to mention before I get into, you know, the squat proofness and the material is Amplify seems to have been quite inconsistent recently. For example, the chocolate and scarlet launch, my scarlet was super thick, like very OG material, and it's fared well. I've got no pilling on it, whereas my chocolate was super thin, literally like tights, and my shorts in that colour have pilled quite badly. So, you know, I gave all my review, I gave my advice on that launch, and then people messaging me saying my scarlet have just arrived and they're so thin, or people messaging me and saying my chocolate have arrived and they're so thick, like they're not sheer at all, like they're very thick and they feel sturdy, they're not as stretchy as normal. So unfortunately you're gonna have to take all reviews with a pinch of salt, because for all I know I could just have a dodgy batch of some of these colours. I don't know, but it's something that I just wanted to mention very quickly before I get into it, as well as the skin tone thing. So, squat proofness. Are any of these colours squat proof? We'll go over the shorts first. The answer to the question is no. None of them are entirely squat proof. I'm going to put in all the stand-up proof pictures now, and I feel like these didn't fare too bad with the stand-up proofness test. The worst ones, you could definitely see my underwear, which FYI, in these pictures I've got black underwear on, in the try-on clips I've got nude underwear on, so you can see both. Pixel Pink was definitely the worst for the stand-up proof test. The grey you could kind of see as well, even if it doesn't show in the picture you could see it. The digital violet you could kind of see it as well. I feel like with the butterscotch, weirdly, you could see it as well. I don't think you could see it as bad with the indigo or the rich brown, but again, that's like a contrast thing. You're not going to be able to see it as much because it's a darker colour. So that's the stand-up proofness. The squat proofness, none of these colours are 100% squat proof. I'm not confident in saying any of them are, but in the shorts, the worst colours in my experience, how it looks for squat proofness, is definitely the indigo, the rich brown, and the utility grey. Now, that's not me saying that these three colours are squat proof, because I don't think they are. I just think they fared better on the squat test, and it's a bit weird because stand-up proof, these are some of the worst ones, but I feel like, again, it's just that contrast with my skin tone. When I've got nude underwear on, you can't see it as much, if that makes sense. Now, I definitely wouldn't recommend going commando in any of these colours, even the darker ones, because I know people say like you can't see anything, but like I'm utterly convinced like you would be able to see something. So I would definitely not be doing commando in any of these unless you want to give the gym a, I would say a private show, but let's be honest, it's more of a public show. So yeah, they're not squat proof, they are sheer. Indigo and rich brown are definitely the worst on me, but I feel like that's because of my skin tone, and these are in a size small, and these are also, which I'll get onto when I go over the sizing, the biggest size smalls, and they're still very sheer in a squat. So that's something to be aware of. None of these clothes have been entirely squat proof on me. And the squat proof tests were done in like natural lighting, so it will depend on your gym's lighting. If your gym's a very dingy dark gym, you'll probably be a bit safer, but if it's like a very natural lighting or a very bright lighting gym, you know, all things to consider. By the way, actually, I filmed my try on clips yesterday. Basically, I've been filming this video for a few days now because of my work is condensed, so I've not been able to just say, right, let's do a full day of filming this video and sorting it out, because it's just not been possible to do that. So I filmed my try-on clips yesterday. Dan doesn't own blinds. I've said this before, he doesn't own blinds. It's the final straw for me this time though. I'm buying us some blinds because I can't do this anymore. I deconstructed this entire sofa, the whole thing, and propped it up against the windows here. Like, the people that live opposite must have thought, what is she doing? Like, is she filming some kind of like adult content? And the answer is no, it's just a gym review for the girlies, but the lighting was going very messed up. That didn't even really work, so I just waited until like 3 PM when the sun wasn't at like its highest point anymore, and did the try on clips then. And in terms of the leggings for squat proofness, the rich brown leggings are definitely worse than the shorts, and I've got these in a size small. The utility grey leggings, I've got these in a size extra small, and these are definitely not squat proof either. So the leggings, again, definitely worse. And I noticed with the rich brown leggings, when I put them on, you can like see my leg, like you can see my thigh when I sit down in them, kind of like how you could with the chocolate. So something to be aware of, the leggings are not squat proof on me in a small or an extra small. And the shorts that I have in utility grey are a small, and they're still not squat proof. So to segue my way into talking about the material, I'm going to insert a clip here which is going to be me doing my classic punch through test. I want to reiterate, I've just gone over stand-up proofness and squat proofness. This test is not to show you how squat proof or not squat proof something is. That's what the squat proof tests are for. The punch through test is to show you the difference and the let's say deterioration in density of the Amplify material, because as soon as I took these out of the box, straight away, last launch I felt like we were moving kind of a little bit closer to the OG material again. Now I feel like we've gone back to square one with it, I'm not gonna lie. All the pieces I've received, I just feel like we're back at square one. All fared last launch, the wash denim etc a lot better with the punch through test than previous launches. Like chocolate was so bad, it was literally like tights. As soon as I took these out, I can tell by the feel now, after like so many launches, when they're going to be like tights. And as soon as I took them out, yeah. Punch through test will be put in here, and I'm going to compare them to other launches so you can kind of see what I mean. Punch through test time. I'm going to show you the washed denim. So this is from the last launch, and I feel like, yeah, we weren't quite at the OG material, but it was definitely a lot more similar. So this is the wash denim, so I'm comparing it to the most recent launch to show you just how different it is. Then we've got this rich brown colour from the new launch. You can just see it's like literally like tights and not very dense at all. Like it is literally like tights. You can see everything. Okay, then we've got butterscotch, which I feel like doesn't maybe look quite as bad as the rich brown, but again that could be a contrast thing, but it's definitely thinner than the washed denim launch was. We've got digital violet, which again, it's not as bad as the rich brown maybe, but it's definitely not on washed denim's level. Then we've got the utility grey colour, which again, I feel like this is very similar to rich brown in terms of being literally like tights. It's very thin, it's like it's literally got one layer to it. Got true indigo, which again, I feel like looks as bad as rich brown, again probably because of the contrast, but it's still just so thin, like you can just see it's a lot thinner. So pink colour, which I feel like is not as bad I feel like this and Digital Violet are maybe like a little less bad, but they're still not wash denim. Yeah, that's the punch through test. Again, it is to show you the thinness of the material, not necessarily how scot proof or standard proof they are. I hope that makes sense. Let's go over the material. Like I've just said, as soon as I took these out of the box, I was like, oh fuck. Like, these are not it's not giving OG vibes, and it's not like the last launch in my opinion. I'll go over which launches it's most similar to, but I do want to mention all these colours, if you look up close, have a very slight marl to them, and I know that people say that the marl colours are normally more thicker and more like the OG, but this time round they're definitely not. They've all got a kind of like marl if you look very up close, and they don't kind of feel OG vibes. I've also just remembered, the notes thing is really not working. I've just remembered something that I wanted to say is the seams on this batch of Amplify, they're not like wavy or anything. I've not had any issues with the seams themselves. However, they look a bit shiny, especially on the grey and the brown and the Digital Violet. To be honest, on all of them other than the true indigo, they look a bit shiny. That's just something to be aware of. I'll show you what. I just feel like they're a lot shinier than they normally are. My other ones don't really look like this, so that's just something to note. But yes, as soon as I took these out the bag, I was like, nope, this ain't the OG material. Yeah, it's not giving OG material. This material is most similar to the ombre Amplify, and it's most similar to the chocolate, not the chocolate, it's most similar to the charcoal kind of dusty green passive purple launch. Yeah, it's most similar to the dusty green passive purple charcoal launch, the ombre launch, and if when you bought from the chocolate launch you experienced the thinner, fluffier, tight like material in colours like chocolate, it's like that. So that is the material that this is most comparable to. One of the reasons why it's a lot more comparable to the Here Comes the Sun collection is the Here Comes the Sun collection is the only one where I found my nails kind of pucker the material, and my nails aren't like, I don't get like sharp acrylics, it's Builder Gel, and it's not super sharp, but it's kind of like puckered the material. I don't know if you can see that, and the only other launch this has happened on is the Here Comes the Sun one. So yeah, it's a very thin material. It's thinner, it's like tights. You're going to see that in the punch through test that I have put in. It's the fluffier material, like these have like kind of like the fluffy texture to it. I feel like you can see it in the stand-up proof pics that I put in. It's got that kind of fluffier texture to it, which also means if you put this, if you have like pets or anything, fluff attaches fluff. Get yourself a lint roller, because these definitely gather lint, especially in the darker colours. It's a lot more obvious, but they're very lint prone. So it's a thin, fluffier kind of material, almost a little bit like spongy in feel, if that makes sense. Very soft, I will say that. Like if you found like the Misty Lilac wash denim, it was a little bit rougher because it was a little bit closer to that OG material, which personally is my preference. But if you like a really soft material, this launch, the material is unbelievably soft, very slick feeling. And yeah, if that's your preference, that's your preference. I don't want to make anyone feel bad if they prefer the thinner material, because I know some people really don't like the OG material. They prefer the newer one. So if you prefer the thinner, fluffier, you know, not as bothered about like it being completely squat proof material, very soft, not bothered about it pilling, because this material is a lot more likely to pill and will pill a lot quicker than the OG kind of material, like the wash denim from last launch, which is just like not as soft but still soft. Super stretchy, like tight pantyhose level stretchy. This is the launch for you, and if you don't like that material, this is not the launch for you. The only colour I have that feels slightly less soft and a little bit rougher is the Pixel Pink, but even then it doesn't feel like wash denim. Like it's not giving wash denim, but it does feel a little bit rougher. Not uncomfortably rough, but it does feel slightly less soft and a little bit, I feel like almost like a tiny little bit thicker than the other colours. And the only other colour that feels a little bit different is the Digital Violet. It's still very, 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 very soft, very fluffy. You know, it feels softer than the Pixel Pink, but it just feels a little bit more dense than the other colours. But the rest of the colours, yeah. The material is pretty consistent between them, but those are the two colours that I noticed that felt a little bit different. And by far the stretchiest out of this launch is, in my experience, the Rich Brown and the True Indigo, which is quite strange because normally darker colours tend to run a little bit tighter, but no, like, no, that has not been the case. And like I said, other than the butterscotch colour, I've got a small in everything. And with the leggings, it's the exact same with the material. There isn't a difference in feel or anything like that. So the material, it's up to you guys to decide whether it's still worth it for you. I will still wear these items, but like, I kind of have a bit of like, I don't want to get like cognitive dissonance, because like there is a level of awareness that like I don't pay for this. I get this stuff for free. So I'm still gonna wear it and I still like it, but sometimes I just struggle with Amplify at the moment, especially with the inconsistencies, because I'm like, hang on a minute, if I was buying something for like, you know, it's not cheap, it's like 50-60 pounds, we're in a bloody cost of living crisis, is it okay for that to then pill so easily? No, it's not. But then some people really love this material, and I'm not judging, but that's just my 2 cents, and I really don't want to kind of lose touch with like how expensive these items are. They need to stand the test of time, and like I can honestly, hand on my heart, say my OG ones have really stood the test of time. My Viola bikers, I wear them all the time. My Silver Sky shorts, I don't wear them as much anymore, but I've worn them so many times. My Fireside shorts, and they're still in immaculate condition, like they don't even look worn. But then, like I said, some people really love this new material, so I just feel like stuck. I feel like they'd probably be better at this point just having 2 different forms of Amplify. One for the people that want the super thin, stretchy, fluffy material, not bothered about it pilling, and one for the people that want the kind of like a little bit rougher, still soft, still stretchy, but like a lot more thicker, a lot more dense kind of vibe. But then is that just really wasteful? I don't know. Material, not as high quality feeling in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not roasting you if you like this version of the material. I'm just saying I don't think it is as high quality as, you know, how my washed denim and like hazelnut and stuff feels. Another thing to go over is the rise of these. These are the same rise as they were last time, so they come up just as high, which I know some people don't like. And I did actually compare the other day. I wore my Ivy shorts, and they definitely don't come up as high as these ones do. So I can actually see what people mean when they say that like these are too high-waisted. But then I'm confused, because when I lay them over each other, there isn't actually that much difference in the height of the waistband. So why do these sit so much higher compared to the other ones? I don't know. But yeah, if you have found that these are like too high rise on you at the moment, they're still super high rise, so something to be aware of there. Sizing, let's go over the sizing. Again, something I want to mention, because like I feel like people insinuate that like if 2 people have different opinions, one of them must be lying. Like I said before, there has been a lot of inconsistencies, both not just with sizing between colours, sizing between the same colour, just clearly like different batches. There's just a lot of inconsistencies at the moment. I don't really know what's going on with like the quality control side of things. So if I give an opinion and someone else has a different opinion, it doesn't mean they're lying or I'm lying. It just means we might have actually received completely different batches, which I know you're thinking, well then what's the point in the reviews? And I'm struggling because I don't want to give people the wrong information, but I can only go off the pieces that I have received. So last launch, I've seen people say, I feel like have people been saying can of biscuits, squeezed out of a can of biscuits? We don't have biscuits in cans in England. Or is it a can of beans? We do have canned beans. I feel like I've seen can of biscuits, tin of biscuits, bag of biscuits. I don't know, but I've seen people saying basically they felt squeezed, like, you know, like when they put sausage meat in a sausage, like squeezed. by the last launch. There were people that are normally an extra small literally going up to a medium in colours like wash denim, and I did find that the last launch ran smaller. So this launch, like I said, instead of getting mainly extra small, I actually got mainly size small, and then I got one pair of extra small shorts to compare to. Now it's actually quite difficult because I don't have an extra small and a small in the same colour, and there can be differences between colours, so bear with me as I process my thoughts. In my experience, the sizing is pretty much the exact same as the last launch. So if you sized up in the last launch, you should size up again. Like, you should get whatever size fit you best last launch, go with that size again, because these do not run any looser in my opinion. They still feel the exact same, like they don't feel any kind of, you know, any kind of different. And I'm going to show you, so both these have been worn. They're not bag fresh anymore, but they're both worn, so I'm comparing worn to worn. I'm going to show you the Misty Lilac extra small compared to the Digital Violet in a size small. It's giving that's the same size, and I can't wear my Misty Lilac because I trained in them. I think I trained in them a couple of days after I received them, and I actually had to cut my session short because I had really bad stomachache and I was feeling violently unwell because they were so tight. So like the material, because the two are kind of interlinked, yes, it's super thin, stretchy, soft, but the waistband is just a completely different kettle of fish, and it's still stretchy, but like the waistband on the Digital Violet is by far the smallest this launch. Like, this waistband is tiny. If you thought last launch ran small, bear in mind an extra small from last launch is the same size as a small in Digital Violet this time round. I'll put in clips of like when they were bag fresh so you can just see how much smaller it is. Okay, so these are all the size small shorts over each other. So we've got rich brown at the back, then we've got indigo, then we've got the pixie pink, digital pink I want to say, the utility grey, and the Digital Violet. I definitely feel like this is pixel pink. As you can see, it's actually quite a big difference with the lengths in this one, which there hasn't been for a few drops now. These are all a size small, but you can see the brown looks a lot longer than the other colours. The other colours are kind of similar, but they're all a little bit off, so something to be aware of. And then sizing wise, for me, this is the most inconsistent batch I've had in a long time of Amplify in terms of like sizing straight out the bag. These are all a size small, and I feel like there's quite big differences. So the rich brown and indigo are pretty similar. They're pretty much the exact same at the back. Then the pixel pink is a tiny bit smaller, utility grey tiny bit smaller again, and then I just feel like this is tiny in comparison, this Digital Violet colour. The waistband is not making sense. How is a size small actually a little bit smaller than the extra small? Something to be aware of. Obviously I'm going to let you know in the video, but it seems this colour may run small. Extra small in the pixel pink, small in the butterscotch. Visual side by side, not that much difference to be honest. I would just say the small waist in this colour in particular just feels a little bit less snatchy. Comparison of the small Digital Violet and extra small Misty Lilac from the last launch to try and show you just how tight this is. Like, there is no difference between these two. And I've gone up to a small. The Digital Violet runs small. Size small in the Digital Violet is actually pretty much the same size as an extra small in the butterscotch. So as you can see, we're not really. It's just the Digital Violet runs incredibly small. I would say utility grey runs very similar in terms of how tight it is. Then I would say the pixel pink runs tight also, but not as tight as the grey and the Digital Violet in my experience. And then the true indigo and the rich brown, I feel like these are more of a true to size small, but they're definitely not as big as a size small used to be. Like, I used to get size, like I've tried on my old medium grey size small shorts, and they don't really snatch me at all. They just kind of sit on top, whereas these do still snatch me a little bit. So it definitely is still running smaller, but they're the kind of differences between the colours in the shorts. And then obviously I got the butterscotch in an extra small, and I feel like this size, this colourway in this colourway runs a little bit more similar to previous launches in my experience, because the extra small definitely doesn't feel as tight as like the Misty Lilac in a size extra small. As you can see, it's a little bit, there's not much in it. I'm comparing 1 to 1 again. There's not much in it, but it is a little bit bigger. The extra small is wearable, but I would probably prefer a size small. A size small will still snatch me, but just, you know, it'll be a little bit more comfortable, because these waistbands can get uncomfortable when you've worn them for a few hours, especially if they're not in the right size. So in the shorts, if you are getting the utility grey or the digital violet, 100% size up. Even if you are not between sizes, like those run very, very tight. The rest of the colours, go with whatever size you got the last launch. I'd say that's the easiest and safest way to go, especially considering like how thin the material is. You don't want to be sizing down, like it's just going to make any sheerness issues 10 times worse. You know, I've said I could try a medium in the sports bras, and I don't have an emotional attachment to a size. I had this conversation with a client the other day. If something fits, it fits. We don't need to feel like, oh, it's bad to be anything above a size small, because it's really not. If it fits, it fits. However, my concern when I'm saying like, oh, you've got to size up, like if you're having to go up one size, it's not the end of the world. But like with the bras, I'm quite petite, like, and if I'm getting a medium, what are the people who are already on like the upper scale of the sizing chart meant to do? There's nowhere for them to size up to, which is why getting sizing consistent is, in my opinion, with Amplify, something that Alphalete really need to work on, because it's not very inclusive or fair to basically push people who are already at the upper end of the size chart out of being able to buy the product because they can't fit it anymore, because the sizing's just gotten so small. Just to go over the leggings, so I got these in an extra small and a small, and as you're gonna see, there's no difference. The only difference between the extra small in the utility grey and the small in the rich brown is the fact that in the size small in the rich brown, there's more room, like the leg is wider, but the waistband is actually pretty much the exact same, so there is no difference. I'm going to put in a side by side of me wearing an extra and a small. And then in the leggings, I am meant to have the black pair as well, but I don't know where they are. They weren't in the package, so yeah, I can't include them. I did get 3 pairs of leggings, but I've just got 2 here. So I've got utility grey in an extra small and the rich brown in a size small. As you can see, the waistbands are actually the same. I'd say between the two, the waistbands are pretty much the exact same. It's just that the size small and the rich brown, it's definitely wider in like the leg, which I feel like you can see, and it's also a little bit longer as well. But if you look at the waistbands, there's really not much in it. Definitely a few more sizing inconsistencies this time around for me personally. Okay, extra small in the grey, small in the rich brown. These did not feel any different on, other than I had a lot more room in the glute region, the leg region. The waist felt the exact same. There wasn't a difference between the two. Yeah, and neither of these were squat proof, so sizing up didn't help. Honestly, I'm struggling to say whether I prefer the extra small or the small, because they fit exactly the same. I've still got a little bit of excess material in these, in both an extra small and a small, which you're gonna see. So weirdly, I feel like in the leggings this time round, I'd actually be intrigued to see how a medium fits. Like, they're not too tight, but if a small and an extra small fits the exact same way, basically an extra small, I'd be intrigued to see how a medium fits in these. So yeah, the leggings, whatever size you got last time, if you sized up, get the same size. If you didn't size up last time, personally, I would recommend that you do size up, just because of like the sheerness issues and all that sort of jazz. But yeah, that's the leggings sizing. I did know actually that the rich brown leggings in a size small fits a lot tighter than the shorts in a size small. And there's the explanation as to why. The shorts are in the back, the leggings are in the front. So yeah, as you can see, the shorts run a lot more normal. I'm gonna say normal just because this is literally the exact, this waistband is the exact same over the extra small grey. So the shorts are definitely running more true to size, to a size small, than the leggings in the rich brown colour. I don't have other colours to compare. But before I move on, I just want to say really quickly, regarding the black, because I didn't get it, but based off the colours that I have got, I would proceed with caution, because if it is that thin material, black leggings, when they're not right and they're not thick enough and they're very sheer, in my experience, are one of the worst things, because they just look bad. Like, objectively, black sheer leggings that aren't meant to be sheer, they just look bad in my experience. So I would be very, very cautious with the black. It used to be that like dark colours you don't have to worry about, and now I feel like the dark colours I have to worry about more, which why the math is not mathing. It doesn't make sense. I also did want to note, actually, another thing that I noticed just very quickly before I move on to the elements items, is that the mesh panel on these feels a lot thinner than usual and a little bit more fragile. I don't know, when I put them on I just noticed that it was a lot sheerer in some of the colours down the side compared to usual, and it just feels a little bit more like flimsy. It's always been thin, but it just feels extra thin, and I feel like it's because we're back to that soft, thin, fluffy material. If you love it, you love it. Good for you. This is one of my favourite products that Alphalete does now, and I absolutely love. My favourite thing about these exclusive tees that they've started doing is the fact that they're printed. I think they're printed and made in Texas. Let me actually like check. They're made in Texas. The cotton is grown on a US farm, and I think it's so cute that they put like little pictures of the garment workers with their name and a little bit of information about them. I just think it's really, really nice. And like, if you've watched my videos and like you're familiar with like, I don't want to say me because parasocial relationships, but if you're familiar with like my content, you'll know like I just like giving back. I like local things. I like that sort of stuff, so I really, really like that they've started doing this. I did actually I did actually order 2 of these, but I didn't get the Learn More, Dream More, Be More tee in the navy/pink colour, which I think is going to be stunning. I definitely put that on my list of recommendations from this launch, 100%. Oh, I'm gonna have to start moving now because the lighting's going weird. I would definitely put that on my list as well, but I just don't have it. These are 100% 6.5 ounce cotton crew neckline style. I've shown you in the try and clip what these look like fully down on me, and also what they look like when I tie them in a bobble. Very quickly, all I do is I gather the material here, get a bobble, tie it how I would tie my hair if I was doing it in a bun, and then tuck it under, and I find it stays a lot better than tucking it into the sports bra. But yeah, 100% 6.5 ounce cotton, crew neckline style. Dropped shoulder sleeve style. I get these in a medium. I get these in a size medium, and I love how they fit in a medium. It's the perfect oversize. If I've got shorts on, as you'll see, it does kind of cover the shorts. I do look a little bit naked walking around the gym, but it is what it is. Yeah, I love this in a medium, and I really, really like this one. So this is the oversized wolf head tee in dolphin blue, but this colour is like a charcoaly grey blue, and it's such a good colour. Like, I actually love this colour so much. I think it's a really, really nice colour. I love this top. One thing that I have noticed about this top compared to all the other exclusive oversized, they're all unisex t-shirts that I've had in the past, this one feels a lot softer. Normally they feel a little bit rougher and a bit more structured, whereas this one definitely does feel a little bit more flowy, slightly more lightweight, and a little bit softer. I love these t-shirts. These and the Elements crop jackets, which I'm gonna go over, along with the seamless pullovers from Alphalete, are definitely my 3 most worn over the past few months outerwear pieces to the gym or like running errands from Alphalete. Like, I live in these. I cannot recommend these t-shirts enough. Like, I feel like solid recommendation. I love them. This is also coming in white. But yeah, I love this, and I think I might wear it to the airport on Thursday. I think this might be my airport fit. If anyone's got like an outfit suggestion from this video with like the new stuff that they think I should wear to the airport, please let me know, because I think I might do that. But with this, what shall I wear it with? And I get a medium in these, and it's like the perfect oversized fit. I think if I had got it in an extra small, it wouldn't actually be oversized, even though it says it's oversized, because the medium isn't huge. But yeah, finally we've got some pieces from the Elements line, which has been slightly adjusted. So as I go through the items, let me just let you know what they've changed. So we've got the women's Elements crop zip jacket, and what they have changed about this is that they've shortened it slightly. So I'm going to put in a side by side of the old versus the new, so you can see they're both in a size small. You can see the difference between the two, and they've also increased the cuff opening. I think I actually did mention it when I reviewed the Elements originally, that the cuffs were just ridiculously tight, like literally like very, very, very tight. And as much as I've worn that jacket, like it's very tight on the wrists. So I'm so happy with the alterations made. And also with the old jacket, I used to roll the bottom part of it, so this part, in under itself to make it like the right kind of length, and now it's the right length without having to do that. So this is definitely an improved version of that jacket. And like I have just said, this is literally one of my most worn outerwear over my gym wear, whether I'm running errands or going to the gym, pieces from Alphalete over the past few months. My cream one, like, it's just such a good colour and it goes with so many things. Old Elements jacket is underneath, new one is on the top. So as you can see, they have shortened it a little bit. Like I said, I used to roll this under once, so the new one is pretty much the perfect length, because that's the length I was wearing it at anyway. But other than that, like, these are both size small. The body fit is the exact same, the arm fit is the exact same. The only other change that they made is the cuffs. So the cuffs are a little bit wider now and a lot comfier. So if you found that these were uncomfortable last time, which I definitely did, they're a lot better now. This is truly like an improved version of the Elements jacket. I'm very happy with the changes that they made, and I just think, yeah, I feel like this is perfected now. I don't think they need to change it again. Love these hoodies. That's the difference between old and new. Elements jacket on the right, new Elements jacket on the left. As you can see, they've shortened it and they've fixed the cuffs. Thank God, the cuffs were way too tight last time. Much better this time round. Prefer the new. So I got 2 of these because I use most of my options on Amplify, because I know that's what the girlies are interested in. Always got the girlies in mind. So I got this in this Irish green colour, which, by the way, can we have this in Amplify, because I feel like this is stunning. I love this colour. Now, would I get a full set in this colour? No. Which, to be fair, the joggers don't come in this colour, but the shorts do. I probably wouldn't do a full set in this colour. I think it's a little bit much. I also got the oyster grey colour as well, which is just like a very light, cool toned grey. If I compare it to the utility grey, you can see it's a lot lighter. It's kind of like a silver skyish kind of colour. So I get these in a size small. Small fits perfectly. You don't need to really, you can size up for more of an oversized fit, but like in jackets from Alphalete and hoodies, I always get a size small, and these are fine in a size small. Don't need an extra small, don't need a medium. These fit how they should fit in a size small. So whatever size you normally get in hoodies, if you want it to fit like a standard fit, go with your usual size. The Elements material, if you go, I'll link down below my original Elements review and timestamp where I put in the comparison of this material compared to like performance, but it's basically like a jersey, spongy, almost scuba-ish kind of feel. It's not got brushed cotton. It's like, it's all the same. It's the same material inside and out, and it's, I would say it's kind of like a medium kind of weight. It's not super thin, it's not super thick, and I feel like because it's not brushed, it's not too warm. Like sometimes I will train, do my first like 2 exercises in my cream hoodie and then take it off as I get a bit warmer, but it's not too hot to the point where you couldn't do anything in it. It's like a nice medium weight kind of hoodie. Details wise, you've got this kind of like waterproof Alphalete tag, which is on the hood there. You've got a little bit of paneling detail on the hood. Then at the front, you've got this logo, which is just embossed on. You've got a black zip down the front. You've got these hidden pockets on the side here, and you've got the same on the other side. And then on the sleeve, you've got the hidden pocket, which I think you're meant to put your phone in, but personally I haven't I haven't used it yet, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, the cuffs are so much comfier now. It's definitely an improved version and the length is a lot better. Before it was kind of like just past my belly button, unrolled, and now it's kind of a little bit longer than my sports bra. It's just the perfect length, to be honest, for like a cropped hoodie. And other than, what other hoodie did they used to do that I used to really like? The Capital crop zip hoodies. This is probably one of my favourite of their like cropped proper hoodies. Oyster grey is the exact same. The only difference is that the branding on this here is in black. The only thing that I find off-putting about the green, I said this about the Elements last time, is that I actually think this looks really good in white, and I wish that the details were done either tonally or in white also. I know it's just kind of like the vibe of the collection for it to be black and more contrasting, but I don't really like the fact that this is white and this is black. I don't like that. I'd rather it be green and like match, or be white as well, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, I love these. I wear them a lot and I do actually recommend them. Like I've said, when I first reviewed them, it was the first time they'd been out, and I can actually confirm over the past few months I've worn them a lot and I do recommend them. They are a high quality feeling item in my opinion that Alphalete does. I really like the item. I think it's worth the money, and I definitely do recommend it. I like it a lot and I wear it a lot. You've then also got the shorts in this collection, which is just a restock, and they've not made any changes to the shorts. So the reason why I didn't get them is because I don't bloody like them. I don't like them. They make me look weird. I don't like those shorts, so I didn't get any, but they are doing the shorts in the oyster grey, fog blue, Irish green, vanilla, confetti, almond and harbour navy. So if you did like the shorts, they are doing them again, and they've not changed anything about them. I just don't like them, so it was a waste for me to basically repeat what I said last time, considering they've not changed them. I don't like them. They've lived under my bed since I got them. I've not worn them once. That's all you need to know. Then you've got the Elements Relaxed Jogger. Last time they did joggers, they did two kinds. They're only doing the Relaxed Jogger on this Elements launch, and they have changed some things about this. So they've decreased the rise, so they're not quite as high-waisted, which I definitely noticed when I put these on. And I also just feel like, in general, I'll put in a clip of me comparing new to old, both on my body and also off my body. Old Elements joggers versus the new ones. Like I said, these are an extra small, these are a small. A lot of the things about it is similar. These are a little bit lower in rise on the new ones. These are a little bit higher. I feel like it's just, this one just looks a bit more frilly because of the sizing, to be honest, but I do feel like this waistband looks a little bit less frilly. Again, still not my favourite waistband. Details wise, they are pretty much the same. And then obviously they've changed the cuffs at the bottom, so they're a lot bigger now. Obviously this is an extra small and this is a small, but like, I feel like even an extra small, it would have been a big change, because that's actually quite a big difference between an extra small and a small. It's a lot comfier. So this is wider, and also this part is wider here as well. But other than that, well, the lighting is not on my side. That's the difference between the joggers. They're not too different. They've tweaked them slightly. Definitely prefer a size small, and I do prefer the new cuff and the new rise, but still not my favourite jogger. Old Elements jogger versus the new one. Old is on the left, new one's on the right. Please note, my old ones are an extra small, my new ones are a small. I definitely prefer the size small, but honestly, other than the fact that the cuff is a lot comfier, I still don't like these. Just to show you a colour comparison of the old Elements, just to show you a colour comparison of the old Elements cream colour versus the new vanilla. They do kind of go together if you want to match them, but they're not a dead match. They're definitely different kinds of colours. This is more like a creamy, yellowy kind of cream, and this is more of like an off-white, oystery kind of colour. And then they've also increased the cuff opening. Again, thank God. I don't even have big ankles, but I always find with Alphalete joggers, the cuffs are just so tight. These are a lot more comfortable now, but it is worth noting that I went up to a size small, and my old ones are an extra small. So I don't actually know if in an extra small these would be all right. I just want to be completely transparent about that. But in a size small, these are fine. It's not too tight, doesn't leave a digging mark, doesn't cut off my blood circulation. I can feel my feet. I won't need to get my foot chopped off. Perfect. So yeah, I've got these in the vanilla colour, and yeah, so they've brought the rise down, but the details are still the same. So you've got this pretty thick waistband, you've got a drawstring on the inside. I don't really like this drawstring, I'll be honest. I think it looks quite cheap. It's just giving cheap. The material is the exact same as the jacket, so it's not like brushed or anything. It's just the same on the inside as it is on the outside. I feel like last time I reviewed Elements, the lighting went weird, and it's just happening again. It's just clearly cursed. So yeah, the material is the exact same. You've got this logo here. Again, I'm not a huge fan of black on cream. I'd rather it be white. The navy and the confetti pink colour have got white, but everything else has got black. I'd just rather it be white. I think it'd look better. You've got these little tape bits here. I never did find out what the purpose of these is. It's a 27.5-inch inseam, and it comes up to like here on me, which you'll see in the try-on clips, which is like a standard jogger length. There isn't really any other detail on the back. It has got a front seam, it's got a back seam, and it's got a back pocket. There isn't like a zip or anything on there, but yeah. The cuff is actually a little bit baggy in a size small, but I'd much rather it be like that than be too tight. I think an extra small would have probably fit better on the cuff and still being comfortable, but the rest of the body of the jogger, it looks so much better in a size small compared to an extra small. It's a lot more relaxed, and I definitely think these look nicer than they did before. I don't know whether it's because of the changes or because I've got a small this time and not an extra small. However, it is not my favourite jogger that Alphalete do, and realistically my old ones have lived under the bed since I got them. Don't worry, I'm going to be giving stuff away soon, but they've lived under my bed since I got them, and I feel like I love my joggers, and the joggers that I love, I really love, and I wear them all the time. So if something's not quite right, which these are just not really my preference, I really don't like this waistband, I won't wear them because I've got a plethora of joggers. Trust me, I don't need to be wearing ones that I don't really like. So based off that, this is not my cup of tea. I don't really like them. I definitely prefer them compared to the original, but still, would I be going out and spending my own money on these? No. A bit niche. So there's only actually one of these things that is part of this launch, but I'm just going to compare it to the other one. So they've brought out this new colourway in the duffel bag, which is the burgundy canvas camo. I think this is the burgundy canvas camo. Yeah, this is the burgundy canvas camo duffel bag in a size medium, and they also sent me some from previous drops, and this one is a size large, so I feel like it's actually probably a good opportunity to just show you the difference between a medium and a large. I definitely prefer the medium in these bags, and we have a black one from when these first launched, and it's technically Dan's to use because it's just more of his kind of thing than it is mine. However, recently I've been using it so much, and I definitely prefer the medium over the large, just because even with the medium, when you've got these full, these are big bags. So this is a medium, right? Looking at the size of my head. Even with a medium, sometimes it can feel like, am I walking with the bag or is the bag walking with me? And when it's got a lot of stuff in there, it kind of like bashes off my leg. So I actually don't think I'd be able to go with the large one. Even though it's a slight difference, I just feel like that slight difference would make it way too big. But I can fit everything I need to fit in a medium. If I'm going out for the day, let's say I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to my mum and dad's after, I can fit a tracksuit in here to change into after the gym. I can fit my deodorant, any hair stuff that I need, my laptop, all my work bits, my lunch, and I can still have room left over. The medium bag can actually fit a lot in it. There's plenty of storage. You've got like pockets on the side. Like I said, like when these first launched, I was like, it's not really my thing, and typically it's not, but like my trusty Primark bag, which was like £5 that I've been using for like 5 years, has started breaking on the strap. so I don't like putting heavy things in it because it's just going to break. So I've actually just been using this when, well, the black version, not this one, obviously this is very fresh and new, when I go to the gym, and I've been really enjoying using it, more so than I probably thought I would. So if you're in the market for a bag, I really like these bags, and I do actually think that these duffel bags are worth the money. We've had the black one a while now and we use it a lot, and it's not really got any signs of wear and tear other than one of the mesh pockets. I caught it on the locker in the gym, so it's got a little rip in it, but other than that, literally golden. So much storage, and yeah, bit weird for me to review a bag, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents. That's the sizing comparison between the two, and I definitely would go with a medium over a large if you are interested in one. If you're a guy, you can probably get away with a large a lot more. I'm just going to show you for reference how big a large is. So this is how big a large is when it's stretched out, and this is a medium. Can we see? I just feel like, yeah, the large has a lot more height to it, and on me would just look ridiculous. So I'm gonna give this to my sister's boyfriend. I'm gonna give it to him today. That's gonna be a little gift for him. But yeah, and I actually really like this colourway. I think this is really cute. I've decided I'm gonna keep this one for me because I can't keep using the black one because it is technically, I did give it to Dan. So I'm gonna use this one for me. This is gonna be my gym bag, and I love it. So I think that's everything for this review video. If I've left anything out, please just let me know in the comments below and I will go through it. Let me know what you're thinking of the new kind of style of my reviews, where I've started doing like the split screens and like the voiceovers. Let me know if you find them helpful. Like I said, if there's anything you need to ask me that is going to require me having this stuff and my entire collection, please ask me between today and Wednesday, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to help you, and like I said, I'm going to feel really bad about it. Sizing help, the best way for me to help you and give you like accurate sizing is if you message me on Instagram, tell me what sizes you've had in other launches. If you've never bought before, give me your measurements, and also pictures really help me to work out what kind of size. I always find I get sizing right a lot more when I've actually either stalked someone's Instagram if they're on public, or if they send me pictures. I find it a lot easier. And don't worry, I'm not going to do anything with the pictures, and they just need to be this. I've made myself sound really weird. It doesn't need to be a weird picture, it can just be a gym selfie. That's all we need. Any men watching this, do not send me any pictures of things that I don't want to see, because that's happened a few times recently and I'm not interested. But yeah, that's the easiest way for me to help you with sizing. If you're comfortable commenting down below with your measurements, comment down below. I will help you out. People can also read through the comments and they might be able to help you out as well if they've got similar measurements to you. Yeah, any questions, leave them down below, or message me on Instagram if you're not comfortable commenting. And yeah, let me know which material you prefer. If you prefer this material or the ones that are more similar to the OG, because I am definitely intrigued. Yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to and you haven't already. And my Instagram is amyrooks. If you want to see the colour comparisons and other story bits, I'm going to be doing a Q&A on my Instagram tomorrow about this launch. It's all on my Instagram highlight. I've got a public page. You don't need to follow me if you don't want to. Also, by the way, I do respond to DMs even if people don't follow me. You don't have to follow me in order for me to respond to your message. I'm all for helping the girls out. I will respond to absolutely every single person's question about the launch. And yeah, I'm gonna go because I need to get on with editing this video, because tomorrow I need to pack, and then I've got 2 days of check-ins, and then I'm going to America. I'm joking. I'm so excited. I've never been to America before. Like, I'm literally, this is like Christmas Eve times 5 million. I'm so excited. So excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm gonna go.